As you mentioned, well, I can't speak to specifics of Ms. Dion. The syndrome has certain things we know about it, one of which is triggers. So again, as many of your viewers know, stiff person syndrome has episodes of muscle stiffness, but also muscle spasms. And they come and go, and there's certain triggers that we know that cause these. And some of the triggers are loud noises, stress, changes in temperature or environment. And so you can imagine in front of large groups, things like that could be an issue. Or again, in a loud arena or auditorium. I suspect anyone who does this professionally, though, again, this is sort of quite routine for them, and it maybe doesn't cause the same degree of stress. Or again, there are ways of also modifying those variables. Another thing to keep in mind is stiff person syndrome. While rare, it does have some treatments. There's medications to treat the symptoms, and then there's underlying immunotherapy to treat the actual disease. And so with any luck, any given patient will try these, and maybe there is a lessening of severity of symptoms or something along those lines to help someone get back to what they're doing professionally. It's all about limiting or addressing those variables. So again, loud noise, that's I suspect that's a little difficult to correct for, but temperature, environment, you don't want to perform someplace too cold, someplace too hot, or if you do, you want to be properly dressed to take that into account. Ultimately, if there is a trigger that causes symptoms, you want to have the medications that treat those symptoms readily available. So maybe you step off stage, try the treatments and see if you can come back on. The symptoms for stiff person syndrome vary. They can last for seconds, minutes, or hours. And so that's the other variable, depending on how severe the attack is. Maybe someone comes back on the stage. Maybe things have to be called off. Again, the stress, as I mentioned, is a trigger. You don't want to put too much on your plate. But at the same time, again, if this is something you love and that you're good at, it can be quite fulfilling, and maybe it's something you look forward to as well. So, but playing it by ear, just taking one step at a time. And again, if someone were to have an event or a bad night, that doesn't mean it would repeat itself. So you just sort of take it step by step. But again, any patient I had in this situation that said, "Hey, I'm feeling up for this," that's incredibly exciting, and I would encourage it. But again, taking into account that you need to try to limit those triggers and then have treatments available if something doesn't